Welcome back. In this lab, we will first launch an EC2 instance that is configured with a user data file that you can find in the resource section of this course. If you want to follow along with this lab, please have that file ready to go. After that, we will look at some metadata that you can get from the Linux terminal. Let's get started. Before we load the file into the launch configuration of the Linux instance, I want to examine the user data file and what it will be doing. Note, this is outside of the scope of the Cloud Practitioner certification, but again, I want you to learn the cloud at a deep level. Here, we are updating our packages and installing the HTTPD service. We will be starting the HTTPD service via the systemctl and enabling it here. We will be creating a variable called EC2 instance IP with this curl command that will retrieve the instance ID from the EC2 metadata. And then finally, we will use the echo command to create an HTML file with an h1 tag that references the h2 instance IP variable we just created. Now, let's move on to deploying our EC2 instance with our EC2 user data script. We will go to our EC2 console, go to the Instances tab, click on Launch Instances. We can use the free tier Linux 2 AMI, and we can also click on the T2 free tier instance type. Now, in the Configure Instance Details, we can leave everything the same except for the user data. We can enter script here as text, or we can browse and upload our file. I will choose to upload the file since we already know what's in it. Once it has uploaded, we can click on Next. The storage default config is fine and we won't be adding tags, so we can click on Next. Now, for the security group option, remember in a previous lab, we configured our EC2-lab security group with the HTTP rule. So we will go back and select that same security group since it already has everything we need. We will click on Review and Launch, and then we will click on Launch. We can use the existing key pair we created in a previous video and click on Launch Instance. Once the EC2 instance state is launched and the status checks have passed, we can copy the IP address and paste it in a new window. Now, you should see the EC2 instance IP address in our new window. Pretty cool, right? I mean, this user data script ran, grabbed all the information, and immediately created an h1 tag with our EC2 instance IP address. Now, let's manually check some of the EC2 instance metadata. We can select our EC2 instance and click on Connect. We will use the EC2 Instance Connect option since it's a bit faster. Once the terminal window loads up, we can type in our metadata command. It's curl http://169.254.169.254/latest/meta-data. What a mouthful. This will display all the available information we can get from the EC2 instance. Remember, the up arrow gives you the most recent command you just ran. The first one I will check will be the public IP address. And as you can see, the public IP address is displayed right here. Now, I will check the local IP address by changing this last part to local-IPv4 and hitting enter. Pretty cool, right? I want you to play around and see what other information you can get from this EC2 instance. Once you are done with the lab, don't forget to terminate any unused resources. But if you plan on doing the next lab, you can keep this resource running because we will be using it for the next video. I hope in this video you got more hands-on with this lab and feel more comfortable with user and metadata. I'll see you in the next video.